8 players with 5 spell boosts and 5 crests. And now we are down to the last 2 with both of them bringing spell boost and crest. The by far best lineup in this format. The true and tested. And now it's going to be between Sai and Yan to see who takes it all. Both players qualified for the grand finals. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Shadowverse Open Qualifier 4, where we are going to see who is going to be the final champion of these 4 qualifiers. We are your casters, myself, Different Fight, and Ignidius. In case you missed it, check out the VOD of all the games that have been played so far. But here's your bracket to see who is going to be playing in this finals between, of course, Team EMT, Sai, and Yan. And you can see the journey that they've taken. It's been a long one and a very, very arduous one between both players. But now there's a sigh of relief as they've both gotten one of the most important prizes. But now it comes down to that, $700 money match, right?
Yeah, 700 USD, by the way.
Money match.
This is not some Legend of Zelda rupee. This is a $700 money match. Look out. And I will say, even though they are both playing Crest and Boost, I will say it's also very interesting that throughout the day, Yen's very interesting version of Crest using Rodeo and Kakaitis has been able to take it in the mirror. I wonder if that's precisely why he brought this build in the first place, right? If you want to check out the full deck list, we covered it all in the quarterfinals, so you're going to want to scroll on back through the VOD. But going into this match, the players are already ready in the lobby. What are we thinking they're going to lead with? Probably the Boost, right? I imagine. Just because it has sort of an edge against Crest.
I do think you do just open with a spell boost, and then if it happens to be the mirror, so be it. But the one who gets to pair into Crest does have an advantage. So getting that first win in, and then, if you get the first win, then in the second game, regardless of what the matchup is, if the side that lost bricks, you immediately have a immediate chance just to take it all, right? So I think you do play for that.
All right, getting into it. Super exciting to see. Both players got the time zone buff, both from the States, I believe.
Yep.
Heading into this grand finals. Let's go. Give it up for the 2 finalists. Let's head into the game right now. If we have that ready. I believe they're already playing. Or is this... There you go. It's going to be Sai with Crest up against Yen's Boost. Very interesting.
Ooh, okay. Big chance for Yan here to get the upper hand. This is a favored matchup going second, but I think into this matchup it's actually quite okay, regardless of first or second. So now, let's see how this goes. It's gonna be a very, very exciting one.
And Yen's Boost is the one that doesn't run 2 Kakaitises, but does have the Flames of Chaos, which can help deal with boards depending on how boosted it gets, right? Especially after a Wilbert or like a wide board, just like from all the devotees and supplicants and such. The Flames of Chaos can help to answer that, but I don't think it's going to be super relevant in the matchup, to be completely honest with you. I think what's just most important is 1, getting the Norman down on time, and 2, finding that OTK before the Crest can deal enough to matter, right? And with the Dimension Climb already in hand, I think it's already off to a good start.
Yep. This is, again, we talk about this sometimes, but Haven has to play very aggressively in this matchup in order to kind of like have a chance to win before, of course, the Dimension Climb OTK actually takes place. Ooh, a Temple Marwyn here presents a threat.
Temple Marwyn is interesting. I mean, this really telegraphs that you have the other one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if you force out an extra play point into Anangrea, that does slow down the Norman potentially by a turn. So actually pretty understandable why the Temple Marwyn would come out here.
Yeah, and I think it's also the fact that you had the Grimnir up that could trade favorably like this is one of the big reasons why I can get away with the Temple Marwyn too. And I mean, the main point of Marwyn is, after you've evolved once, is just for the token spell, the Torn of Despair. So now it comes down to how Yan wants to answer this. We haven't been really spell boosting much, so the Stormy Blast isn't really doing much damage just yet.
Yeah, the Witch's New Brew would have to draw a spell to boost with, or you would just play the Anangrea. But again, I think this was within Sai's range of possibility, right? Like, the entire reason this happened was to prevent potential extra play point to Norman on the turn 5. Now, you're able to Marwin here pretty safely. The only problem is the Anangrea will stay up, which is a little scary, but...
Yeah, I think that is a pretty big point too, because that does give you a bit of that more, like, you're already quite favored in this matchup, but having extra potential damage you can do here. The Stormy Blast now has been spell boosted at least 3 times. We're gonna see what we can draw into. Edelweiss is gonna do it.
And remember, you could also just evolve the Anangrea to deal 3 to the Marwin as well, and then you wouldn't have to work so hard for the rest of it either. Like, you could Edelweiss here and then Witch's New Brew, and then engage the Witch's New Brew, and then just evolve Anangrea go face. That would clear the board while leaving you still with 2 sigils on board for a Norman on the next turn.
Yeah, I do think that's...
Hovering
you
over
have to
it.
always be aware of what you're playing into there, but... You see the clear, Witch's New Brew.
This is the play. The playbook. I've seen it in the stars.
The stars don't lie. This is definitely putting Sai into a very good position. Also, some of you may have noticed the player cams have switched. When it's the mirror, I think even for production, it can be a little bit hard to check which player is where.
Ah, yes.
On the correct side.
We got to get the correct sides, of course. So it's actually Yen who's playing the Haven right now. I mean, he's been on a tear with it, like, this entire tournament, so I can understand why he'd feel confident with it, right? Like, the amount of, like, clutch wins he achieved with this deck against very powerful opponents, I think shows his amount of confidence in his list.
Leave me alone. There's no use.
That being said, this Wilbert not going to be able to clear the Edelweiss. I think an extra play point cooldown is actually pretty scary here for Yen.
Yeah, especially because you can trade the 2-1 in first and then evolve the Kuon after that.
Well, you wouldn't have enough board space for the 2-1, right? You would only get the 3-3 here.
Oh, you're still right, yeah.
Yeah. But you would still be pushing 5 to the dome.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't change. That's again.
You're not pushing 9 to the dome, so it's not as good, but you are pushing 5. Norman double Golem also very valid, I think.
Oh yeah.
Transform your skills.
That does run you out of your Earth Circle, though.
I think that's okay. You can extra play point into Blast. I think that's probably the way.
Isn't it?
Oh yeah, if you're gonna do it, then it's gonna be now. Because this way, if you do use the blast here, then you don't actually lose any of your followers from trading into the 2-4s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Easy, isn't it?
Limitless.
Oh, debating on it, but
To bear.
Oh, it chose not to.
undecided. This does make the barriers slightly less strong.
Yeah, and also Yen's list runs Salefa, which is actually a pretty big consideration as well, actually, now that I think
I
about
agree
it.
with that so much.
With
I
this
mean, look at how
particular line.
Look how good Salifo is in this specific situation, right?
Right?
Clear the 2 non-barriers, you pop the barriers, you can trade Salifa into the barrier, and then you get
That's
to
a
use
full
your
clear.
banish token to take out the last one. Or not even have to use that.
Yeah,
You're-
not even. Like, you just run the Cavalier first, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Don't even need to use Vanish Token. Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Yeah, because you have Grimnir. Sorry, I feel like we've seen Grimnir missing in action so many times. It's like it's becoming an illusion.
I mean, even if there was no Grimnir here, it would still be a full clear with Salefa if you trade the Cavalier first.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool line.
Ooh, Blinding Faith is a good pickup here too.
You will.
This does leave one up though. I don't see why you would not necessarily go for a Kuon here. It gives you a pretty big damage push, and at the same time, I think it does come down to like when you want to force them to use their vessels, right? So Kuon might come pretty close if they don't have other forms of removal. That being said, we know this Alipha's in here, so that does actually answer quite a bit of this board, and then it comes down to what else they trade in and how they trade in.
All right.
Kuon evolve.
Like the fur, useless.
This is very aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, I think this does make sense. You're pushing down all the way to 6, and this is now essentially like anything from this board sticks. You're good, and you're putting Yan into this position of having to not just answer this, but also start considering when we're gonna have to go for that emergency healing. Still safe for some time, but the thing is, it's basically just one more turn, because if they have a second Kuon, then turn 9, extra play point boost, Kuon on 10, and that's basically game. So, of course, it comes down to drawing into that Kuon, but the homework should help with that next turn too.
Yeah, I think it's really difficult for Yen's Crest to make a comeback from this.
Going for the heal. That's going to be AoE. I want this to hit the Kuon. Okay. That's also valid. This trades because of the fact that, or actually, no, I'm sorry. Again, Grimnir Crest. It's always the most.
It's funny too, Chris. They did the patch that makes it even more noticeable. But you know,
Right.
old.
I need it.
Old habits
I need
die
Grimnir's
hard.
face like just plastered all over the screen. Like it's it's the only way. This Anagrea feels a bit like a decrease in tempo a little bit. But we are still like the dimension climb being at 7. The fact is that we're also approaching the Gilnelys line of play where next turn we'd essentially have to push. You have to get this dimension climb down to 2 if you would want to have both Gilnelys and the spell and the dimension climb in the same turn and try to like top deck into some sort of storm damage to finish the game. Especially considering that there will be healing coming down here, and this will give you the clear over the Anagrea at the same time. So let's see. Sai needs I mean, if you see a Kuon, then you can't really go into it either because your call is not small enough yet to give you the extra damage. It's gonna be a little bit complicated here.
Oh yeah. I think I spoke too soon on giving Ruin the game here.
How about
But you know, you
Earth
can
Signal?
draw with the Norman.
Transform.
Yeah.
Mantia.
What do we see? Ooh,
Here's
that's a big
Cocytus.
pickup.
Do you just pass? Like let the 2/6 rock? I think so.
Yeah. Cocytus is too big here. It is your win con that just secures the dub, and again for Sai, getting this first game win for either of these players is very, very huge, especially when it's a complete mirror. Devotee gives you the 5th crest. This is 5th crest lets you now use Benison much more freely. Tablet is a little bit risky because, I mean, I guess not so much risky in this matchup. It would be risky in the mirror, but I guess you can afford to get rid of your deck just to make the consistency a little bit better. Ooh.
The temple might be clutch.
It can prevent the Cocytus climb combo.
Not that you can climb with the Cocytus right now anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think you still do
Still
it.
playing it out.
100%. That's actually a pretty big pickup for Yen there. A nice and easy.
Oh! Hold up.
Oh, are we doing this?
Thing is, though, I feel like Yen here, even if you go for the Congregant Guildnalese would basically set up 10 damage for next turn while setting them to 8 this turn, but they have so much heal in that hand. And even if you can actually use both Sage Lights, heal, and the climb goes down to 4. So you actually do get to full heal and at the same time still climb into potential lethal. Oh, that isn't exactly where you wanted to see it, especially with the barrier up. So I think you still probably stick with a game plan of going for the heals.
This starving world begs for me.
I guess Gilly also still sticks with a heal plan.
Go on.
You get to pop the barrier here, and then at the same time,
The spark
yep,
of
Sage
knowledge.
Light, Sage Light.
The
You also
spark
get
of
the Stormy
knowledge.
Blast. This will let you take out the Congregant at least, but let's see. Yeah, I guess the Stormy Blast being at 2 means that it can take out. Oh, but choosing to hold it. This is 20 defense. Feels relatively safe into the Haven matchup. But there is a... This is kind of crazy to think about that. It is sort of do or die on what this Dimension Climb actually finds. If this Dimension Climb doesn't find anything of value, then it is going to be very, very tough. Like, it has to be the Astaroth, essentially. But even then, without the Super Vault remaining, it's not as promising. So choosing to play the Cocytus instead.
The tribulation.
Sai now. 19 defense. There's a Servant. Dimension Climb can be put down to 3
Tribulations continue.
after the 5 damage is dealt. Goes down to 2. 4 play points remain. This can trade. The Servant can also come down with a 0 God's Climb. A very
And here
strong hand
comes-
that you're standing back here.
That is pretty crazy. And we see Astaroths, but no super. But you can just Astaroths and then climb again.
Climb again.
That's guaranteed to
Just
kill.
Climb again. This can find you. Most likely, the damage you need to take the game. And there it is. The Demon of Purgatory is going to deal the lethal damage and
Oof.
put Sai in that first game dub in this finals. Just one more game to go. Yan needs to seal 2 games in a row now. Whew.
It's that
This is gonna be
that inevitability that just gives Boost the edge, right, in that matchup. And even though it
Yeah.
took a little while, even after an aggressive start with the Ann and Greya push, the Haven was able to stabilize. But at the end of the day, you give Spell Boost infinite time, and they'll deal you infinite damage. So, and there's no amount of Temple of Reposes that can save you, really. And now we're going
Yeah.
into a Crest Mirror, which is, as we've seen, a little bit of a grinder. But remember, Yan's crest list is kind of positioned to be a counter crest list with the Rodeo and the Kakaitis able to outgrind most other crests, and we've seen that throughout the day. Will it happen once again in the grand finals here? Let's take a look. And Yan is able to pick up both the Devotee, the Grimnir, and the Marwyn. That's really, really big. Meanwhile, Sai has the Grimnir, and I think has to keep the Congregant in order to try and find the Marwyn, but yeah, I think having the Marwyn in hand is like a huge amount of like security. Like you just like breathe a sigh of relief, honestly, once you see that in the hand already.
For Sai, though, I mean, having to play the mirror does give Sai, I guess, that sense of hope of like, okay, well, at least it's not a bad matchup, and at least now, like seeing the Grimnir early, you're matched on that front. You're going second, so you can technically play point boost into the Congregant. Okay, we're gonna see a bit of trading action here going on. The big thing is that Congregant has to do play it down here. Left just hard pass.
What is this Grimnir showdown, dude? It's the Spider-Man meme. What is happening on this board right now?
Yeah, right. Grimnir party out here.
Are we gonna see the other one? I mean, I kind of assume that Sai is gonna extra play point the Congregant here, but
yeah, there it is. And now comes down to the search. Ooh, the Supplicant. Not what you
Marwyn,
want to
brother.
see.
Speaking of
where's the
non-Marwyn, we have actual Marwyn here.
Yep, Neon doesn't miss a beat. Very important. The early turns are still okay, but it does start to add up when you need to be passing for the search effect, but you're not doing any damage from that. It is very painful. Just play the Congregant, destroy pass.
Is that the only way to do it here? That's kinda... That makes me feel bad because it's like,
right?
you know, yeah, your opponent's doing their game plan and you are not doing yours, and that just does not feel very good. But all right, just loading up on the crest. That is not Marwyn!
Uh-oh. That's not good. Not in the mirror.
It looks like pre-transformation Marwyn, though. So I guess I can get why the Congregant might get confused and pull the wrong one.
Ooh. People that started Worlds
did
Beyond didn't even know pre-transformation Marwyn.
Yeah, bro did a glow up, man. You ever heard of
Yeah.
CrossFit? That's what he's been doing.
Just pulled out. Yeah, it feels like the Blinding Ray was also another choice last turn, but definitely feels like you want to be holding that for some of the wider turns. Other than the mirror, I feel like its applicability is a lot more limited, though.
Yeah, real, because I mean, it's in the entire DNA of the archetype. Everything is for defense, right? So
Yeah.
it's less useful in that sense.
Man, we already have 4 crests here. All we need is the Marwyn to top it off for Sai, but on the other hand, Jan here is pretty happy with how things are transpiring. Ooh, still missing in action. It's not good.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate when you do the mirror and then one player is able to get their game plan off and you're just not. Like seeing a disadvantage from that always feels bad, right? Because it feels like your deck's just not firing on all cylinders. That is not Marwyn again.
Ooh, but that
And
is Rodeo.
Yan picks up the Rodeo
Excellent
off the
matchup.
top.
Bestow fair judgment.
Is huge. It really feels like Jan, the build feels like it's made for this mirror in particular.
Seriously. I think he... like tailored the entire deck list, expecting to fight this mirror. And
Right.
you know the technology that he's incorporated. And it's not like new. We have seen this kind of build in previous SVOs as well. But right now, you know, this late into the metagame, and most people are on the crest. It's really paying off to have that counter tech.
Finally, Sai picks up the Marwin. Is it too late? It's still manageably on time, but that is going to eat up your turn. And you are going to reset one of your crests this turn as well. I feel like it's still somewhat safe to Marwin. I mean, it's kind of now or never at the same time.
It's just kind of a shame, because if you Marwin now, I mean, do you have to then spend the spell just to extend your countdowns, right?
Brace yourself.
Otherwise,
Does
you're gonna
feel
lose it. You're gonna lose so many of them.
Ooh, doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Getting the Shining down. You're gonna lose both the Devotee and Supplicant crest next turn, though, but you at least have the Devotee in hand to re-up it. But I don't know. I feel like Yen is kind of pulled way ahead here. That being said, in this mirror, I was gonna say because of Benison, it's down to anybody's game in the end game, but actually, with Yen's specific build, he's super advantaged in the end game, especially with Kakaitis already in hand and Sai putting on no pressure.
And the tablet with the draw power once you've played Kokaitis too. It's like,
Yeah.
it really feels like we just need to get through this turn for Yan, and then if you can put a Kokaitis down next turn without being punished, that is going to be huge. Especially with how many, like, 3 remaining evolve points. You can technically clear this Marwin without even evolving too, which is so strong.
And you know, if Yan wins this mirror, that means his spell boost is up against Sai's crest, and that's advantageous for spell boost in that matchup. So I think this set and who ends up becoming the grand champion is still up for grabs, honestly.
Yep. This will be 1 damage to the leader. Limited damage output, but putting up enough threats that this should make things a little bit awkward for Sai.
Yeah, do you just congregant super it? And then I don't know, it's all a little it's all a little, what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't feel impactful no matter what we do here as with Sai's hand.
Yeah, I feel like you're finally starting to do the ping damage. You hit the ward on the right target, that's good.
And it's really great that Yen has the disenchantment now, right? Because if he wants to, he can slam Kakaitis, the disenchantment takes out the 0/4, then the Kakaitis can go over and take out the Congregant if he evolves or supers it.
Yeah, I think while Grimnir is active, doesn't necessarily matter too much here because that wouldn't, I mean, do enough damage to take out the 5/7 on the board. But I think, unless you're waiting on something specific in the deck, I do think the Kokaitis puts you in a pretty big advantage in this matchup, that slamming it down here is fairly safe, especially because you will heal 4 from the...
Yeah, you're back to 20. The disenchantment. All right, Yen's going for it. Pop disenchant. Purgatory off the top already. Very nice. Wilbert burned.
Ooh. Permanent crest, never happy about that.
That's pretty big. Now we got an 8/10 Kakaitis here, intimidating with ward. Purgatory in hand. and 2 draws with Tablet. If the Tablet draws another Purgatory, that represents 13 damage with a super. No. If he gets another Purgatory, it would just be lethal. The Purgatories would be able to clear the board while dealing 6 face, and then the Crest would just do the work. The Purgatories aren't attacking, so the Crest would still activate.
Exactly. There's that plus. I mean, in case that's not enough, there's a barrier going up next turn too.
I think, yeah.
At least one of these, if not. Ooh, choosing not to.
Not
That's
talking either
risky
disenchantment is... That's super risky. That is the other Purgatory! That is lethal!
Yep, that is going to be... That's 12 damage plus 3 from the crests.
That's 15! Does he see it?
Finds the third one. Why not?
Does he see it?
Yan. He doesn't have to select the enemy follower to deal 6 damage to the leader. Playing them out gives you...
I'm on the edge of my seat, man.
That's the Demon of Purgatory coming down for 6. And there goes
There
the second.
it is. You almost, you had me
Now
worried there for a
the
second,
turn
yeah.
button clears it up and takes us to a game 3. That Cocytus. This build, dude, this Haven build is so favored in the mirror. It's actually impressive to see how good the win rate has been so far, dude.
It's really crazy. I mean, that's exactly what it's been engineered to do. And Yan is showing that this build was the correct one to bring in this environment. Just, I mean, the track record speaks for itself, you know. 1 time is a fluke, twice is a coincidence, but this many times in a top-level tournament, when you already had to go through the 10 Swiss rounds to even get to top 8 in the first place, I don't think it's no fluke or coincidence at this point, man. And now, Yan is queuing up the spell boost against Sai's Crest, which should be advantage for Yan. This is Yan's game to lose, but Sai, if with that Marwyn early on, still could just present the enough burn before the spell boost can take off, especially with this, honestly, kind of weak hand from Yan here. I think this might still be anybody's set. Chris, this is the final game of the tournament. The person who wins this decides the whole thing. Who you got on this? I know we're casters supposed to be unbiased, but who you got on this?
Matchup-wise, Yan. I mean, this opening hand is looking a little tough, but there's homework time in there. This could pick up everything you need, and especially this sending back and getting an Earth Sigil. Not quite what you want. That being said, Sai does have the Marwyn, so if things don't go according to plan, Sai might just manage to kind of like course through this game, but oh, things are starting to come together. The benching time is picked up. Anangrea in hand. Norman is also present. Everyone is here.
Not a bad turn for Sai either. Can just engage both amulets if need be, or can just slam the Gilnolese.
Feels like you can just use this turn to draw cards.
Witches, Foresight, Stormy Blast.
Homework as well picked up. That it's gonna overdraw you, so you can't do that. Foresight again. Oh my god.
Goodness gracious. It's an embarrassment of riches. Double Anangrea with a climb in hand.
Yan is looking pretty good right now.
We are going to see the Marwyn slammed on 4, though. But no Grimnir, no other Crest Generators in hand. This is only going to do a piddly 1 damage.
Just the 1. No Grimnir does make this pretty tough because you are playing into a pretty board-based matchup. I think it does help to have that AoE, but you're going to have to go without it for this game, Sai.
This Anangrea is looking real clean.
Oh, yeah. You got the Anangrea 3 damage into the Marwyn. Trade your summoning into the Marwyn, and then the Anangrea can survive with 2 defense.
That's the way.
The more stats you can leave up, the better.
And you're boosting that climb in your hand. All you got to do now is find the Cocytus or the Kuon, and you're sitting pretty. Plus, with a Norman in hand this turn, you can generate that massive board of golems as well next turn, depending on if you need it. And it's actually looking pretty good into this turn from Sai here. You get a Norman that lives on 3 defense, and then 2 barriered guys that might force out a vessel.
That's true, and you take that as a dub.
You take that as 100% a dub, because that means they're not setting up any more crests to do any damage onto you. But he's playing the Anangrea instead, looking smart to try and find a better piece. I think he knows he has all he needs in his hand in terms of the leading into the end game, but he doesn't actually have any of the end game yet, so going for the draw there.
Yep. No Kokaitis. The Dimension Climb is getting discounted further and further, but no Ku on no Kokaitis. Missing a bit of that top end, almost halfway into the deck already.
Odds are looking pretty good, though. Ooh, leaving an Anangrea up. Does it matter?
Yeah, seeing this, it'll definitely make you think twice about whether you want to put down the Norman or not. And not having... I mean, there's probably put down in case of Kuon, right? But Norman Barrier is arguably even more punished, so... Do you just play another Anangrea or a Burgent here? Together with a 2-drop?
Or do you just Melvy and see what you get off of the Witch's New Brew?
True.
That is an option. Then you just heal with Sage Light. Go from there. It's a possibility.
There she is, the Melvy being committed into.
Ooh, okay. Somewhere in between my plan and your plan.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can force the vessel out before you even land a Norman, that's a huge dub, right? But Sai does have the Blinding Faith, able to clear most of this even without using the vessel.
Main
A
thing is
Giln
also you
plus
can
a
get
Blinding
third
Faith would...
crest this
Yeah.
turn. Third crest, so the 4/4 Anangrea will go down to just 1. So while the face damage is going to get eaten up by the summoning, you don't have to use the vessel to clear this with the Blinding Faith and the one of the crest generators.
Probably Supplicant, right? Get a bit of that chip healing as well. And put a ward up.
You want that.
Gain true sight from slumber.
Setting up both.
Ooh, wow, that
What was that
was
snipe,
a pro
man?
tag moment, dude. What just happened?
What was that snipe? That was crazy.
They turned they turned Torrent of Despair into a targeting spell just for that one instance, I feel like.
The Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Gambit.
Can't believe we just saw that. That being said, every Torrent I've hit on stream has hit the right target, so maybe it's just sometimes you gotta just believe.
You see, now with that, and Sai committing essentially no resources to clear Yen's board, now Yen's actually kind of put in an awkward position. He can't develop. I think all you got to do is just draw towards your Kuon or your Kakaitis now. At least you have the homework time in hand. Foresight
Down
first.
to 5. Oh, it's a bit early for you. Okay, we're actually going into the Norman here. Interesting.
I think he's trying to invest minimum possible resources to bait a vessel pop, which is why he didn't evolve here, but I don't think that's going to be enough to bait the vessel.
Yeah, I don't think so. Even if the resources aren't committed to as hard, but you still have ways to clear this. I mean, could technically go for the Disenchantment and then the Blinding Faith. And then you actually, if you pop the Disenchantment, that does actually take out everything, and you save the vessel.
Disenchantment would take out. You'd
Maybe
have to blinding.
normal would take 4 damage, and then the faith would ping enough that the crest takes out the rest. But
Begs
this is also one approach.
This is good. This just gets bodied by the barrier, and you just left up a 5/1. Although, does the 5/1 really matter when you have 2 wards in play and 2 Benisons? I guess, but peculiar.
Like,
Well, I think the Anangrea is not really a problem. It's where's the Kuon, where's the Kakaitis. Like here, you could just Melvi, Witch's New Brew, Sage Light to clear, and then go 5 face. That's an option.
that's
And then
true.
that also draws you through your deck, right?
Yeah, that's what you want to be doing right now.
Because you're trying to find that that Kakaitis or Kuon going into your turn 10. I think the Melvi, Witch's New Brew, is probably the play, but let's see what Yen ends up doing here. Running out of time here, only a quarter of the turn left. And we've seen a couple of timeouts this tournament alone, so you're going to want to make it quick.
My students
Going for heal?
Oh yeah.
That is one boost in chaos.
Evolving faith for 7.
Leaving up a Gilnelis is bold, but
Yeah, that is emergency healing. And it's with the super too, so that would get to actually stick around.
right.
There's no salvation for me.
Ooh, Wilbert, crest number 5.
Evolving the Wilbert instead for the 5th crest. And there's the Benison. So that aggression punished.
The one good thing is that once you find your Kokaitis, it doesn't matter how many Benisons they use. You can still find your way out. But right now, we need that Kokaitis.
It's bottom 17. Doesn't have it yet.
Yep.
I'm starting to get scared here, Chris.
There's only one in this list. There's
Well,
the Kuon.
Did get the Kuon.
Better late than never.
Yeah, you could just like Stormy Blast Wilbert down, right? And then Kuon after that to pick up the scraps. But I think Melvi is going to try and draw into an answer. Kaitis bottom
Oh, yeah.
15.
Stormy Blast. Sage Light for AoE does take out this board too.
It does indeed. And then you can also evolve the Norman if you wish.
True.
The spark of knowledge.
Limitless.
I don't think you have time to climb here.
Yeah, I think next turn Kuon is going to be the potential answer there. Going down to 15 as well. If you don't heal here, there is a risk of actually losing to Kuon plus Gilnelis and another. Kuon and Gilnelis on their own are not enough. But Kuon into a Kuon, regardless, forces out the heal here.
Perfectly good material.
Yeah, I mean, Kuon and Gilnelis together would be 18, right? If the super connects the target.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just heal the full. Stay safe. I think he kind of has to sink the Kuon here now. Not seeing Kakaitis till the bottom 14 has been really punishing for Yan here. It might still be Sai's game.
Yeah, there's a world. Thinking Sage Light only gives you 4 heal, but it might be worth to hold for another turn.
What's Cresthaven's damage output in turn 10 is?
It depends. This
14?
hand right now is, 4.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, like, maximally?
I walk the 5-fold path.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Okay. I think you're just gonna have to go for the second Kuon. But second Kuon wouldn't be OTK here. You don't have board space.
Ooh, we found a second Kuon.
Of knowledge.
Oh, actually going for the heal instead. And did get the Gilnelis, but didn't go for the damage on it.
Also, interestingly enough, didn't wait to buff with the Gilnelis to potentially do 2 more attack here.
Yeah, I think that might have been a mistake.
Shikigami.
Into the night.
Ooh, Grimnir picked up late, but better late than never. This does give you 5 damage AoE at the end. Well, not AoE, to the face. And
now
this
we're gonna
also means
Benison.
that you have your 5. Benison now comes down. Bottom 12 Kokaitis, but now with no climb inside.
Bottom 12 Kokaitis.
I might
Crone's
actually
not going to OTK. I think it might be Curtains.
This game's looking dangerous right now. There's too much healing now from Sai.
How do you make it out of this? And the problem is, even though the Devotee and the Supplicant expire this turn, Sai has those in hand anyway, so he can just put them back up.
Yep. They don't need all
This is looking
points.
dangerous.
It is enough.
Really great start for Yen there with a super early boosted climb, but with no Kokaitis to take advantage, suddenly this endgame is looking way more dicey than it should be.
This is tough. Like Yan is just
Running
going
out of
through
time
it.
here.
This
The
starving
defense is
world
very,
begs
very low, though. You can get rid of the board, but... Right, finding the call is important.
Didn't have time to super Gilnelis to trade. Maybe not even wanting to super Gilnelis, right? Saving it for the out of hand
I
damage.
think
But
it's saving it. It looked like they were
have
just saving
to.
it for the Kuon.
you have to, but you're also taking so much damage over the course of the next few turns.
Yeah. Issue is that the call is also like one of the calls can come in, but you'd want to be double calling here. And I'm afraid the second one is a bit too expensive still.
I think this Blinding Faith has to come out from Sai
Regulations continue.
just to heal out of range.
We can change only ourselves.
But suddenly it's getting real dangerous.
Oh my god, double Kuon, but no dimension climb.
Double Kuo, no dimension climb, and because of this 0-4, you can't even take full advantage of the 0-cost demonic call. You don't have the board space.
Yeah. This is very tough for Jan. You don't have any more healing. You don't have a way out.
Even if
All
you
you have to-
Kuo and double call, next turn Sai's just gonna Supplicant and Vessel, and that's lethal.
Yeah, I mean, Vessel on its own is just paired with one more crest is enough. You don't have the form of healing that you would have needed, and time is running out.
And the Kokaitis
Jan.
is in the bottom 9.
It's the unfortunate reality, but this is the best you can do. From Jan's side, you have to pray they don't have an answer. They don't have a way to set up a way to clear this board. So you can just go as wide as possible and hope that there's no answer. But we know that
We
Sai
know.
has the game in hand. We know this unholy vessel will clear the board. And with
And the
one
Supplicant.
more crest, the repost will deal the final damage. And Sai will be your SVO qualifier for champion.
What an insane set. Amazingly well played from both players there. And what a story for Sai, right? Made it to the top 8 in a previous qualifier, did the run back, and took it all the way to the end. Amazing to see. Big congratulations to both players, of course. Both Sai and Yan will be qualified to the SVO Grand Finals in Singapore in October. But in terms of actual champion status, that goes to singularly EMT Sai, and we'll have a winner's interview with him just a second. I mean, looking back at this tournament, Chris, kind of an insane run. Lots of new faces coming in and proving that they can wrestle with the big dogs. But at the end of the day, Psy, with that consistency, back-to-back SVOs, or not back-to-back, but, multiple SVO tops, even within just this year, and ended up making it all the way to the end is an amazing story.
Yeah, 100%. I think once we're ready on the production side, we'll bring in Psy here as well, but still have some time to prepare real quick, just to make sure that, of course, we get his audio feed, video feed, and everything in here, so you guys can also hear from our champion for the day. But, I mean, Psy had quite the bracket to go through. I mean, just the first top 8 game already was quite insane against Twilight Knights, Rag, and then after that, I mean, that game was, the burn cards and everything. There was so much going on. Then having to beat Otax, which was also, looks like a, smooth 2-0, but that was a big challenge. Then finally, Jan. Of course, Jan put an amazing game. Very, very close one. But it looks like now our champion is ready. Let's bring him in. And of course, chat, give your congratulations to our champion of Qualifier 4, EMT Psy.
All right. Thank you very much.
Big congratulations.
Welcome. How are you feeling?
I guess a bit unreal. I didn't expect to come this far after a lot of top 8 finishes, and I guess this is my first time bringing spell boost, and thankfully I pulled through and I didn't brick as a lot of the previous contestants did.
True, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really worked out for you. I mean, especially looking at, like the mirror matches, which you had to play quite a bit of today. I mean, just from your very first game, you had Spell Boost Crest in your first matchup, and then Otax was a bit of a different lineup, but then back at it again with Jan as well. I mean, how much did you think about these kind of matchups? I feel like we've seen a lot of rogue decks in SVO throughout the previous qualifiers. What kind of matchups were you mostly preparing for? And I guess talk us through your general prep for this, especially considering that you already had your top 8 finish in one of the previous qualifiers.
Looking at the meta, Spell Boost was clearly the most favored deck. There was only technically one bad matchup that Spell Boost had, which was Roach. So for the first 2 qualifiers of this set, I brought Roach because I really didn't want to deal with the Spell Boost matchup, and the Spell Boost matchup, it felt to me like if you had more stat points in your decline skill, you win more. But it's less about how well you play. So I didn't want to bring Spell Boost for the first 2 qualifiers, but it's rough playing 10 Swiss into BO's 3s, and then you have to pilot Roach. So I kind of dropped it because I didn't feel like I had the stamina last time. So I decided to bring Spell Boost and hope for the best. And I was most worried about the Spell Boost mirror because if you bring a Spell Boost Cresthaven lineup, it's just going to be Spell Boost mirrors. So you just have to study up on exactly what's the best way to pressure, board lock scenarios. I tried that against TK Rag, but I didn't draw anything to give me lethal, so it didn't work out.
But I mean, in the end, the tournament ended up being yours. I want to say, how are you gonna prepare for the grand finals in Singapore? Do you have any idea on what you're gonna do? Is this your first international, flying all the way across the world for this as well? What's that experience gonna be like in your mind right now?
Yeah, it'll be very exciting. I'm very curious what accommodation side games will provide us. And regarding prep for the finals, I'll have to think about it, but since the meta didn't really change from the buffs, they buffed the Puppet and Leo Feng into 3 costs. I don't think it will change much. So most likely, my top consideration will be the same 2 decks plus Roach, most likely.
All right.
Okay. And then finally, I guess before we, send you off to celebrate, is there anyone that helped you prepare? Anyone you want to give shout outs to? I mean, you're also part of a team, which of course, we've seen players not from teams win these qualifiers too, but it's nice to see, someone from a team also take it. So if there's any shout outs you want to give, this is the moment.
Yeah, I guess just shout out to everybody in general who supported me for the win. A lot of people messaged me, wishing me good luck and stuff. And then also a special shout out to my friend Scout, who was helping me prep for this SVO, although he didn't have very good results. But his his prep definitely helped me going through it. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So, everyone in chat, give a round of applause as well for Sai for taking it, and of course, wish him the best of luck in the grand finals next month. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure to speak to you as well. Once again, huge congratulations. But I think after these long hours of SVO action,
we'll let you go after this. Huge congratulations again, and honestly, huge congrats. Great to see you in it.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. That is going to be it for the qualifier series. You are definitely going to want to tune in to the grand finals. That's going to be offline in Singapore in October. Offline meaning it's an in-person event. We're still streaming it, obviously, so you're going to need to tune into that. Check out SVO.gg for information on all future tournaments. And hey, if you didn't make it to grand finals for SVO, your journey does not end here. Later in November, we have what we call the LCQ, or the Last Chance Qualifier, and that leads you directly to World Grand Prix over in Japan. So if you didn't make it through the qualifier series, you still got a shot. Again, SVO.gg for all future tournament information. That being said, I've been Ignitius. That's been Chris. It's always been a pleasure. And I want to say a huge thank you to production for making everything possible. And a huge thank you to you guys for watching. Chris, any final words here? Any final words? Like you're about to die. Any last words for this?
Goodbye.
I can say.
No, it's been a pleasure. It's been great. You know, seeing all these qualifiers throughout different time zones, bring out a lot of talent from the community. And I can't wait to see it all come together in October in Singapore. So make sure you tune in. And of course, don't miss your chance to sign up for the LCQ, because that is going to be the last chance. But otherwise, thanks so much for tuning in.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.